Thank you so much for attending this webinar and becoming an SOI Ninja. First of all, I'm just going to go through each page step by step to kind of have an overview. You can stop me at any point in time if you do have any questions. To stop me, just make a comment in the comment box there and I'll be reading them while I go along. So to start off, this is the business snapshot page of your SOI. The point of this page is just to kind of give you an overview of your business. The section of this page particularly that you can actually edit would be the GCI goals and ends goals up here. So I added in a few numbers just so you could see how that works. You only have to fill in the goals and the current, and the percentage and the remaining will create for you. And in these graphs down here, you don't actually have to worry about entering in any information. All of this will actually pull through from your agent SOI. So that brings us to this page here. This is the most important page. This is where you'll be filling in all of your client information as you go along. And I've just put in a bunch of random individuals here with some fake contact information just for the purpose of this webinar. So as you can see, I've filled out first name, last name, street address, community, province, and so on. The most important element is going to be the email. As we're moving forward with our e-newsletters, this will be the information that we'll be gathering to actually send out your e-newsletters to your clients. This additional information here at the end is just a drop-down section. So there's a drop-down to fill in the information. And so there's the ratings, there's the client type, source of business, and deal status, and we've just added additional drop-downs in each of these areas for you. Moving forward with the Agent SOI tab here, I was going over the drop-downs, so there's the different types of clients as well, and then that is all of those. We do add district, birthday, and anniversary of purchase, as well as notes. Those are just for you to be able to review, to enter information for your clients. That's not stuff that we actually use at the end. The birthdays, anniversary of purchase, or notes. The district we actually do use. I'll get into that at a little later date. So going back over to the beginning of the SOI here, you'll notice that there's the two check boxes. One says newsletter and one says email list. So the newsletter, that is the box that you'll want to check off if you would like that particular client to receive your newsletter. Now once I have those all clicked off, you'll notice that there's a few different colors showing up there. We've got orange, green, and red. So the red normally means that we don't have all of the sufficient information. So if you look at the Matt McDonald line, you'll notice that I just don't have the postal code filled out, and that's just pulling in to let you know that that information isn't there, but he does have the email address. So for e-newsletters, this will still pull through. And then with the orange, that means that it's a duplicate. So one cool thing about the newsletters is that it identifies when you've duplicated an address, meaning that those two people live at the same address, meaning that they probably live together. So the point of that is, if you want both of those individuals to receive your newsletter, but only have one email address. That is not a problem. You certainly just fill out the information in both of those, and then it'll go orange. So it's just going to pull both of their names to double check at any point in time if the correct information is being pulled from this spreadsheet for your newsletters. You can go to the email newsletter mail list at the end here at the bottom in the red tab, and that shows everyone that's being pulled through. And then you can just double check to make sure that they're all being pulled through correctly. You see John Smith and Jane Smith up there. I think my internet's just taking a little bit of time to refresh to remove Jane Smith from the second line, but if there is a situation like that it's not refreshing, you can certainly reach out and we can take a look at your spreadsheet. Myself and Hillary Hasty have access to all the SOI spreadsheets, so we can easily at any point in time go in there and take a look for you to see if there's anything going on. So back to the Agent SOI, specifically discussing the drop downs. You'll see at the bottom here we have Create Client Rating Mail List. So this tab here will identify if you've added a rating to any of your clients. You can use the drop down here to click if you want to see all of your A+ clients. You would click that and it will filter out all of the clients that you've labeled as an A+ rating and so on with those. So that there's two reasons that we have this available to you. Once you can take a quick snapshot of all of the agents or all the clients within that rating, as well if you're looking to do any sort of emailing campaign, then it will also allow you to specifically send to those people. And I'll get into the emailing campaign in just a few minutes to kind of show you how that looks. And then the Create Client Type Mail List is the exact same formatting. So you drop down and then you can click out of town, buyer, seller, first time home buyer, commercial or other, whatever you have labeled that specific client as. So I've obviously put in a few here. So then you can isolate those specific clients as well. Then there's also the email list. So that information gets pulled through this checkbox here under the email list. So that is specifically just for your own use. If you want to do a mail out at for your own purpose, seasonal or anything like that, you can certainly do so through here. So you just want to click off all of the clients that you want to send it to, and then that information gets filtered over into the email list. So if you're looking to send these particular clients a email mail merge, then you can do so right from here. Yes, I'm just looking at the comments now. The link will eventually send you to the recording so you can look at it at a later date as well and review. And if you do still have any issues with it, you can certainly just email myself and we can either figure out a time to do a screen share and discuss things at a later date, or go over the video itself. So back into the email list. So if you're looking to do a mail merge, there's two different ways that you can actually create a mail merge. My favorite way, and probably the easiest way, is to use the add-on YAM. That refers to Yet Another Mail Merge. So to get that system, you would just Google YAMM, and then you want to install that into your Google account. That will allow you to send emails straight through a spreadsheet. So one thing that's really cool about that is you set up the emails through your Gmail as a draft. So as you can see here, I have tons of different draft emails that I send out to all of you on a regular basis. This one that I have up on the screen here is one that we actually send out for the e-newsletters report. So if you notice, it says agent name with the arrows around it. That is done because that will be pulling through a particular spreadsheet that we have, and we have a column labeled agent name. So if you want a particular column to be pulled through, you would just put it within these arrows, and then that will identify that it's the column name. So if we want to go back to the email list, you could do first name and last name, or just first name if you would like. Then you would send out, start writing out your email with including all of those tags there. And then once you're done your email, then you would go back to the email list. Now you will notice that there is a lock icon beside the email list tab. That means that this particular tab is locked, so you can't edit it. We just do that so in case there's an incident where things are deleted, we have a lot of formulas that are going on in the background to pull the information out. So it will be brought into this spreadsheet for you. So we don't want you to actually edit this one itself, but what you can do is if you right click on the tab and then duplicate, then it will pull the information into a copy of that email list, and this tab itself, then you can edit and you can send out the email straight through here. So to do that, you want to look through this top bar, and there's the add-ons, and then you see yet another mail merge, and start mail merge is what you want to click on. And then that will load this little tab that pops up here. And once it is loaded for you, then you can edit and change the sender name. I usually just keep it as my own name. Then you see the email template here. So if you click on this box, it will show you all of the email drafts in your email. So that's where you click on the specific email that you're looking for. You click on it, and then normally when you're doing a mail merge, it's always best to receive a test email first, just so you know that the information that you're sending out is looking correct, so you don't have those instances where things aren't tagged properly and you feel a bit silly with that email. So you can always just send the test email first to make sure that everything looks right. Once you receive that email, if it all is good, then you can click send the 5 emails, and then that will load and send all those emails to your clients. With that, in this copy of email list, a new column will show up that will just allow you to see the report of the emails you're sending out. So within that report, it will mean that it'll show you if the email bounced, if you don't have the correct email address for that client, if it was opened, and if you did have a link in that email, it'll also show you if they clicked through to that link. And it will always update for you until you delete the tab, basically. So it'll always be there for you to reference. And then once you're done with that, you can easily just delete the tab if you don't need it anymore. And then the next time that you want to do a mail merge, you would do the same thing, just make a copy of that email list tab and then repeat the steps. So it's a fairly fun little add-on there, and it gives you the opportunity to send out some personalized emails to your client list rather than just a mass email. The other option to send out the emails would be to go to File and then download as a CSV, and then it just shows the current sheet, and then that will download something that looks a lot like a spreadsheet. Once you have that downloaded, then you go back into, I usually download and just save them to my desktop because it's normally the easiest place for you to then find that file. So then you go to the email, and then at the top of your email where it says recipients, then you click on that and you see the button over here for mail merge, and you can click on that and it says upload CSV, and then you would upload and then find that CSV file on your computer, and that will bring in all of that same information for you, and then you can send the email out that way. The one con to that, I would say, is that you can't receive a test email first before you send it out. So I do enjoy using the Yet Another Mail Merge because of. So we've covered over the email list. So I'm just going to jump back to the agent SOI. Now there are a number of items at the top here. There's the legend over here, just in case you're ever wondering what the different colors are. And then there is the how to send a newsletter. So giving the identifying features of what you need to have to send out the newsletter. So a minimum of 25 clients. Check off the newsletter column. If the box is green, then that means you'll receive it. If the box is red, then that means that there's missing information. You just have to fill that out and correct any errors, and then the box will turn green. One thing that I'll say about the red box versus green box, I personally have a tendency to add a space at the end of things. So I'm just going to click on the email and I'll use mattmcdonald@gmail.com as a reference. So if I add the space at the end here, actually, that's not a good reference because he already is red because there's no postal code. So I'll jump down to the jjohnson@yahoo.ca. Up here, I'll put a space and then enter. And then once that loads, then you will see that it identifies it as red. So it's just recording that space as an error there. So then you just want to remove it. So if you see an error and you're looking and you're like, I have no idea what the error could be, it may just be a space at the end of the word that you wrote in there. So then there's the clients receiving newsletters. So this will populate the amount of people that you have checked off for the newsletters themselves. And then the newsletters I will be charged for. So for the e-newsletters, you're allowed to have 150 sent out. And for the printed, it's only 100. For both of those, we have it changed on your personal SOI, so it'll calculate according to the type of newsletter that you currently have sending out. And then it will identify how many additionals you're sending out and what the total cost is for those. At the moment, with this newsletter schedule button, if you click on it, it will bring you to a page that just tells you to contact myself if you are looking for the newsletter schedule. That is just due to the fact that we currently have two different schedules going, one for the printed newsletters and one for the digital newsletters. And instead of trying to make sure that we have the correct newsletters on each one, we just have it this way. And then I will be more than happy to tell you when to have everything ready, when to have your client list prepared and updated, and so on. So you just want to click out of there and then go back here. So then you see Grow My SOI form link, and you'll see that there's also a Grow My SOI tab at the bottom. So when you click over to that tab, it's just a blank spreadsheet there. It has timestamps. The reason for those timestamps is that this link in here actually brings you to a custom online form that we've created specifically for you. So this form, you can have people that you have on your social media or anything like that fill out this form and submit. Once they submit, that information gets generated over into your agent SOI, and then the timestamp is just to let you know when that person filled out the form. So for this, I normally just advise people that you can post the link through Facebook or through Instagram with a cute little comment about keeping up to date with you every month, or get some knowledge on what the real estate industry looks like in your area. And then that will tell you, then they'll be added to your list. And it's a really great way to build up your client list from people that you already have relationships with on social media. So that's there. You would just copy this link up at the top and it'll bring them directly to the form once they click that through your social media post. So That is the Grow My SOI. At any time, if you are interested in sending that out, and if you would like to see a custom social media image for that, you can certainly reach out to us and we can design an image so then you can send out that SOI. And then the bottom here, so I'm sure you're all aware that I do send out 3 reminders for the newsletter customization form every month. But at any point in time, if you don't have access to your email, or if you just can't find the email, you can easily go to the form through this link as well. And that will bring you to the page where you click on the current month that you're dealing with. So by the end of today, we will actually have the November highlighted, and then you can start customizing your November newsletter. We are always working 1 month in advance for the newsletters, just as a reminder. But then you would just click on the month, and then it'll bring you to the link for that jot form. And then one other thing that I know a lot of agents are finding a little bit difficult with the SOI is deleting clients. So if you have a client that you no longer want on the list, or for any reason they just shouldn't be there any longer, the way to do that would just be to remove their information from each of the tabs, or sorry, each of the cells, rather than deleting the whole line. Because if you delete the whole line, there's a lot of formulas, like I've said before, going on in the background, and that can actually just mess up the entirety of the spreadsheet. So if you just remove each column that you have filled out for them, and then after that, if you don't want to have that empty space in there, you can easily, there's these kind of, it's an upside down triangle, so if you click on that, it will allow you to sort or filter. So you can just sort A to Z, or Z to A if you would rather, and it will then remove that space because there's no information in it. So it just drops it down to the bottom for you. And then you don't have to worry about any blank spaces in between the rest of your clients. So that is the gist of the spreadsheet overall. If you have your own personal database as well as this, and you're looking to have the information brought over from that other sheet, the best way to do that is just to copy and paste by columns. So pretend like this information here is on a different sheet. You would just click that. Now you can either just copy it however you normally copy, and then just click in the particular column that you're looking to put that information in, and then paste. If you try to copy and paste a whole spreadsheet, once again, you'll run into the issue with the formulas going on in the background, and it just won't allow the information to paste in there properly. So this is the best way to go about that, would be to copy and paste per column to have all of the information in there. And then if, once again, if you are running into any issues with that, then you can just reach out and I can have a peek at your sheet. So I guess we can go back to the business at a snapshot. So you'll see here that I've filled out the deal status with a bunch of random information just to generate some information in the graphs there, as well as the source of business. So those are the 2 columns that will be brought into your business snapshot screen. You do have to have both of those columns filled out. You can't just have the deal status, because if you don't have what source of business that is, then they just won't generate the correct information within these graphs for you. But as you can see, although I don't have very many clients with information in them, you can still see that there are some numbers that have changed depending on the information that I filled in. So from the information, you'll see that the majority of my leads have come from social media, because there's 4 total leads there. And then I have 1 as past client and 1 open house. and then you'll go over to this visual of what type of lead gives my best, or my business, the best return, and then that will then show you the total amount of leads within each. So social media being the largest source of business that I'm getting, then it has the most data, each one working, one close, and one fell. So that information, you don't ever have to worry about filling this out, and you will just have that information coming from the source of business here. Then the district is the next column. So if you are able to collect the district information from your clients, it's really great to do so, because one cool feature that will come from filling this out is if at the end of every quarter with your newsletter that gets sent out, not only will that person receive the quarterly stat reports, but they will actually receive the quarterly stats that are for their specific district. So if you want to give your client a really great experience and give them information that they find most useful, this would be the perfect way to do so, because it provides them a snapshot of their actual area that they live in or the area that they're interested in buying in. So that is there. So I'll just do one quick review at the end here while I'm waiting for your comments to come through, and then I can answer them afterwards. So fill out information column by column if you're bringing it over from another form. Make sure that the information is in the proper format, similar to what we have here. If any of the information is not in the proper format, if you have either the newsletter or the email list box checked off, those will go red, just identifying that there is an error in the information there. It's important to have the address as well as the email, and then the ratings, type of client, source of business, and deal status. That is all for your own personal business. You can fill that out as you go. We don't gather that information. The district, if you have that information for your clients, fill that out, and at the end of the quarter, they will receive the specific quarterly stats for their own district. If you want to review who you currently have the newsletters going to, you find the email newsletter mail list tab at the bottom of your SOI, and that provides you a snapshot of everyone that you're sending the e-newsletter to. Then the create client rating mail list and the client type mail list, those get generated based on the information that you fill out in those two tabs. You can review them at any time, and this tab here is really just for your use if you're looking to contact a specific rating client. So if you want to contact all of your A clients, this would be the tab that you would do so through. You can send the emails straight through this. I know I went to the email list tab to do that, but if you're looking to do that here, you can easily just right click on the tab, make a duplicate of that tab, and then send the yet another mail merge straight through there. Once again, with yet another mail merge, it's an add-on, so you can download that just by Googling yet another mail merge and installing that on your computer, and then it will show in the add-on tab at the top of your spreadsheet. Go down to it, then start a mail merge. There are, for the formatting of the email itself, yet another mail merge does have some options for you. If you see this box come up here, the recipient column, that just means where is yet another mail merge going to find the information. So you can still see in the background here that the emails are in column D. So you want to drop down, make sure that it is column D that is checked off, and then click save. That will just make sure that yet another mail merge is pulling the correct information for who you're sending that to. So then you can click a template if you currently have that, or browse more email templates, and it'll bring you to yet another mail merge where they have multiple different templates that you can actually just download and input into your Gmail and save as a draft there. A reminder, the draft is where the emails are being pulled from, so you just want to have that there. And then you send it, it'll show you how long it'll take to send to those people, and then another column will be added to the end so you can see the reporting of the activity for that particular email you sent out. After you're done that email, you can easily just delete this tab, and then the next time that you want to go about sending out an email, you would do the same process. The email list is for you to send any clients, so they don't have to have a particular rating or filter or anything like that. You just would click on the email list check mark at the beginning, and then that information will get pulled over there for you. The Grow My SOI is the form that is in this link here. The form is specifically for you, so you don't have to worry. Every individual agent has their own form, so they won't ever get crossed over.